Hi students, Mr. C here, and the next step in our epoxy wood creation table is the understructure or the structure that holds up the tabletop for our coffee table setup, right? So we've already determined that the height of the table has to be 18 inches in height. Okay, so what we have here is I do have our drawing, and I do recognize the fact that this is pretty faint. I will bring up the camera to it so that way you can see, have a better look at it. But these are the parts that are going to build or make or create the structure for the table. Now I have taken the liberty to going ahead and taking the blocks and making them into the perfect size rectangles, all cut to the same exact length that the plan calls for and the width to them. Now I did also take the liberty of shaping one of the pieces to be exact. Now I did change the design a little bit where the bottom piece will have this cutout arch to it, so that way when it sits flat on the surface or on the floor of something, you will have that space. Let me just go ahead so you can see that. So you'll have that space to give it a little bit more of an airy look, also make it feel or seem a little bit lighter than it is, okay? Because these are relatively large, thick members to this part. Now what I want to do is I want to lay out all the parts as far as their sizes and their lines on them for cutting, okay? So with that being said, the bottom piece has this arch to it, but the top does not. So all I want to do is I want to take this piece here. Now these two are exactly the same length, exact same width and thickness. So I'm just going to set this here on here flush, and I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to strike this pencil line here so it creates the arc there, and the arc here, and I want to make sure that this line is really dark so that way it's easy to see the bandsaw. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take this and we are going to cut this arc and this arc out in the bandsaw, okay? So now this piece is all marked with the two markings that it needs, and that's all it needs for this. Now this piece here, this could be considered one of the top members, so I'm going to take this piece and set it here so that way it doesn't tip. I want to make sure it's flush along the top here. Okay, and then same thing on this side. So the arches are on this one. So that's two of the three pieces that go along the top. And as you can see, I'm just copying these lines over. I'm going to go ahead and mark this one as well on that side. Flush. Okay, so I have that one marked, but I'm going to just use that as a balancing piece. you'll want all these to be the same. Make sure everything's flush and lined up before I start marking things, right? Okay, so now I have all 4 of these marked. So these are the 2 top pieces. Now these are the bottoms. And they have their arches to them here, 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 and here. But you also need the bottom arch on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this like this. Striking a pencil line to about halfway on that one. Same thing here. Now what I'm going to just do is just switch these 2 from this side to this side. Then what I'll do is I'll connect the lines. Okay, so now I have my arch along the bottom, my arch top, arch at the bottom, the arch at the top, and top. So now all of these are marked exact. So I have all these pieces here to bring over the bandsaw to cut out, but I still have these 2 post pieces. Now the post pieces, they're going to have a tenon cut on this with large shoulders. Okay, I already know that I have to have these 1.5 inches up. So the tenon on the bottom is 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take my combination square and I'm going to mark at 1.5 inches. Mark the other side 1.5 inches. I'm going to take the other one, mark 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Now I'll just go ahead and I'll set this where I'm just going to go ahead and mark the line. And just rotate this and create a line all the way around both sides so I know where I need to set my dado head to cut this out. Okay, so I have these done. So everything right now is marked exactly what we need for us to be successful in cutting out the parts for our structure to our wood, our epoxy wood creation table.